We're back for our final game in charge of FK Piranha. Win it and we qualify their club for Europe. Not bad when we finished in the bottom half of the table. So here's the state of play. It's a one-off game. It's us versus Llama. We've been drawn as the home team for reasons that escape me. They finished higher in the league than us, but we'll take every advantage that we can get. This is not going to be an easy game. Llama have beaten us twice already this season, and I might be doing something that probably is a little bit foolish. I'm going to stick with this ridiculously attacking tactic. It served us well in the last game, but on paper it just looks too gung-ho to go out and get anything done. But when you look at our most recent fixtures, we have been scoring some goals. We got 2 in the last game, 4 before that, 3 before that, 4 in the 2 games before that. In fact, you're stretching back a fair old while before we struggled or failed to score in a game. So I'm going to stick with it. We've got a fully fit squad to choose from. I think we've got all of our best players in the team. This man is an absolute wonder. I am delighted that he returned from his loan spell. He's up to 5 assists now. This man has been a rock for us. I'd like to play him a little bit further forward. We don't really have any defensive-minded midfielders, so I've asked him to do the job, and he has done it with aplomb. This guy has been influential. 8 goals he's got from midfield now. This guy has been an absolute marvel. 16 goals he's contributed towards, and that's the same tally that Ahmed Adler Silva has managed to score across 32 league starts. Another man who could just come good for us today is Ahmed Fifana. He's now got 9 goals, and he spent most of the season playing at centre-back. He's 6'6", a jumping reach of 16. Today he's going to be playing as a target forward. Hopefully he can get on the end of some crosses or on the end of a set piece, and we could qualify little FK Piranha for Europe, meaning that in just 2 seasons of our journeyman, we've taken a club from the Croatian second division to the top division, and we've qualified a club that finished equal on points with the team that got relegated last season, and we've taken them into Europe. Wish us luck. If you've got it, cross it. Let's get out there and take on Llama. So we are in our yellow home shirts for this game. My goal is just don't go behind early. Please don't spoil the episode in the opening 10 or 15 minutes of the game. If we could be 0-0 at halftime, I'll take it. If we're poised at 0-0 with 10 minutes to go, I will still take it. Wouldn't it be great if we could take Piranha into Europe so that as we walk off into the sunset and start hunting down our next employer, we've left this club in a better position than we found them. That's what we managed to do with our first club, Dugapolia. It would be great if we could do the same with FK Piranha, taking them from a team that was almost relegated to one that's going to be competing in European competition. It would boost the club's finances. It would boost their reputation and prestige. Might allow them to attract some good players to the club for next season, and they could really push on. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We're living the dream without actually having achieved it yet. Let's see how we get on. We've played the ball out. Adler de Silva has got on the end of a header from our left back. He's gone all the way back to Hashek. The referee is in the way. And here is Osvaldo Halshek. Now Fifana, he drops very deep as that target forward. And here is Zuamensky. That is a looping cross. Here he is, though. The little right back, he's got in on it. Fifana, oh, he's had a clear sight of goal. The highlight has petered out. Fifana has finishing of 8. He's a handful up there at 6'6", but he has finishing of 8. And I think his finishing is actually higher than his composure. So he doesn't take a lot of the chances that fall his way, but he does play an important cog in the overall system, I think. But he does have finishing of 8. But on the end of set pieces, he could be a threat. Mihailik sends one in. There is Fifana. He doesn't jump. Instead, Krian has a go. He's hit the post and it's gone in off the post. That might only be Krian's second goal of the season. He's missed 4 months of it with injury. And inside 20 minutes, he's decided to just step onto a headed clearance Fifana doesn't even bother, but Kriyan does. He's what, 20 yards? He has hit a great strike. It's arrowed into the corner of the goal. And we are up and we are pausing and we're shouting some praise because you boys are beating a decent team. The body language was great. Apart from Mihailik, he was angry that we were pleased with that. Never mind. We now need to get back on the ball. We've won our header and here is Ziemensky, the left back. He's not that quick. He's probably not going to beat a man. Instead, he's just going to present the ball to him. And we've got to win it back all over again. I would just like to take 1-0. I'd like half-time now. Because this is a good team and they're going to come at us. And they've struck a post themselves and they're still in and they've equalised. And this is where only having 2 defenders cost us, I think. This one's on me. Look at the space they had out wide. And look at the numbers that they had in the box. I don't think we could even match it. They've had a strike that hits the post and then, okay, we do have numbers in the box, but just not in the right places. Our centre-halves have got drawn over to the ball needlessly, I might add. And we've let them back in. It's highlight time again. We're building a lot of our play down the left, I think, aren't we? Here's our centre-half into Hashek. That centre-half's playing a long way forward. Kriyan, the deep line playmaker. Fifana. Osvaldo, he's had a dig. Come on, please. Who are you kidding from there? And on your weaker foot. Goodness me, that is a poor, poor bit of decision-making. 1-1 at half-time. Encouraging, but we've got a big half ahead of us. Okay, team talk went well. We've not made any changes, but do keep your eye on the performances of our 2 strikers. Neither are playing well. We're on, what, a 6.6 and a 6.5. Fifana is looking like he could be the man to make way. The only downside is if we take Fifana off and get an injury to one of our centre-halves, he'd be the man that would slot in there. We take him off the pitch, we're going to bring on somebody from the under-19s to play in central defence in the most important game of our season. So hopefully Fifana's performance can pick up. Mihailik in the 10 role behind them, he's playing well. De Silva isn't, but he's managed to get on the ball here. He's inside the box. And here is Fifana. He's had another chance. You're 6'6", man. Surely you can power a header better than just straight at the keeper. Apparently I am wrong. He's still on a 6.5. 65, 70 minutes. We might need to make a call on him. We're there now. We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it. We're hitting 70 minutes. We've got some tired legs out there. I think it's time for a couple of subs. So Fifana has stayed on the pitch, but we've moved him to centre-half and we've brought fresh legs on up front. One of our central defenders was looking like he was breathing with an iron lung. In fact, both our fullbacks look like they're struggling as well. We're not having any highlights here, and I'm not sure what happens at 90 minutes. You'd think, having not read the rules and being surprised by this whole European playoff, I would now have read the rules and see whether we kick in at penalties straight on 90 minutes. I've not done that. It's going to be as much a surprise to me as it's going to be to you. We're going to demand more for the final 6 minutes of this game. We're playing very attacking, but the chances are not coming. And now we are in stoppage time. Are we hitting extra time? Are we going to penalties? I'm not entirely sure. We're going to the dressing room, so I think it must be extra time. We've been the better team. Just keep what you... I'm not sure we have been the better team. Let's try and G them up a little bit. Mihailik did not like that. Adler de Silva is looking apprehensive. I think we're going to make another sub before we get out there for extra time. So I've just checked. We don't get an additional sub for extra time. You've only got the 3 that you have during regular time. I've made one more. We've still got one more up our sleeve in case we need to go maybe 3 up front if we're chasing the game because we've gone behind. Players are looking incredibly, incredibly tired. You've got to remember that the semi-final of this European qualifier was only 3 days ago. So they've played a lot of football recently. I think we're edging the match stats, but we're not creating any chances. Maybe this could be our break. Kriyan gets the ball to the left back that we've now bought on. So he's fresh. Maybe we could use his energy to create some chances down the left. You can see there's no energy left in midfield. They did not fancy running for that at all. And it actually looks like our opponents that are going to be in get back and make a covering run. Okay, don't worry. He's blasted it over the bar. We're okay. It's highlight time again. We didn't see any highlights in the final half an hour of regular time. First 5 minutes of extra time, they are coming. Badolo, he looks like he is toasted. And he turns and gives the ball to the opposition. We have got too many tired legs. I fear this is going to be a step too far for us. Li Jiang keeps us in the game. But I think our energy levels could be the undoing of us here. We've got Badolo. He's just got nothing left. He gives it to Osvaldo. That's a long pass. It's worked, though. It's come off. Here's Mihailik. He's drilled an effort. Okay, it's good. It's on target. But it was a long way out. He didn't look like he had the lungs to go past a player. And that might not even be the end of the highlights because we're going again. Sandal, he should be fresher. He came on as a sub. Badolo, he just wants the season to be over. He's already booked a flight for the end of the game. He has dug out a cross to Silva. Not going to happen from there, is it? It's highlight time again. It's 97 minutes now. It looks like it's us that's still doing the pressing. And we got the ball again. De Silva, use it intelligently. Kokovac, we might have to lower the tempo in a minute. I don't think these players can continue to play at a high tempo. We've got the ball down the left though. Simchak, let's get some good delivery in. Now we can go Mihailik, Simchak, Kriyan, Osvaldo. Thought he was going to pull the trigger. It's got charged down. It's over the bar. Oh, goodness me. I thought we were in there. I thought we were in. We've gone near post. We've won a penalty, I think. We've won a penalty. Let's pause. Martin Kriyan is taking our penalty. That's got to be the right call, hasn't it? 15 pens, 10 finishing. With better body language than Adler de Silva, who has scored some pens this season, has also missed one as well. I think we're okay with Kriyan, aren't we? I think we're all right with Kriyan. So let's cancel. Kriyan's going to be our man. Goodness me, there's a lot riding on this. He's already struck one from about 20-odd yards out. Can he tuck this one away? Come on, son. He has. God, he's hit that one like he meant it, hasn't he? And we are 2-1 up now. What are we looking at? What, 6 minutes to the half-time break? Still with a sub up our sleeve. I'd like to bring on a central midfielder, to give us some more legs in there. We don't have any other central midfielders in the squad that I could turn to at a time like this. One thing we can do, though, is maybe just go off an attacking mentality. Just cool things down a little bit. So we've made it through to the half-time point in extra time. We've dropped down from attacking to positive. We've not gone down to balanced. We're still going to try and dominate the game because I think we're better going forward than we are defending. But I've brought the two wing-backs down to play as a back four. And with, 113 minutes on the clock, I think we can make our final change. But I think we might need somebody to play out of position. Okay, just over 6 minutes to go. Music for Mihailik is our final change. Music is a winger. He can play on the left or the right. He can't play in the number 10 slot. That's where I'm asking him to play this afternoon. I have asked him to do that a couple of times recently, and he did all right. And at least he's fresh legs because Mihailik had gone. He was out of the game. We've got 6 minutes to go, but they're in. Do not. Le Jiang has come up for us again, and I think the linesman has played a blinder for us as well. But we're straight into the next highlight from that offside free kick. We're going again. Kriyan, Osvaldo. Just keep the ball, boys. Out to Badolo. Sandal now, not looked very lively since he came on as a sub, I have to admit. But he's dug out a cross. There's music. Sweet, sweet music. But he got in at the far post and headed his shot straight at the keeper. 4 minutes to go now. Fifana's on a free kick. Kriyan. We could just play some long balls. Here he is. It's the music man. He's come from far away. And he can play. He's just shown the composure to dink one over the keeper. 3-1 up in extra time. Not even me can throw this away now. Can I? What a run it is. The music man is on. What a tune. That is composure of the highest order. Forgive me, the time wasting's going to go on. Okay, we've got a highlight straight from the kickoff. I'm not sure our changes have even gone through yet. I have gone a lot more cautious. I've changed the shape a little bit. We're basically playing a 4-5-1 We've got the full time wasting on, and I've asked the players to just regroup and hold their shape in the transitions, and it might be enough. We've got an injury. Badolo has got a knock, and we don't have any extra subs. We can't make one. So we're finishing this with 10 men. Let's go for a little rejig. Let's move Music in at fullback. He can't play there. Let's get Hasek over on the right wing. He can play there. And let's keep Krian there. Maybe Osvaldo. Just don't get forward anymore, son. Just sit a little bit more. And Badolo, just stay on the pitch and hobble around, or we're just playing with 10 men. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's going to count for anything anyway. We're into injury time. We'd have to concede twice for it to go to penalties. Football Manager will probably make us concede one, just so the heart starts pounding. And maybe not. Lejeune has done it and it's all over. I think we might have just accomplished something rather good. We've taken FK Piranha from the relegation group, finished top of the relegation group, got ourselves into a European playoff, beaten two teams that finished above us in the league, and I think we might have just taken this club into the Conference League. And there's our confirmation. Look how nice that looks. We've got European Conference League qualification for Piranha next season, so they'll stay as a top flight club. They've got European football to look forward to. Imagine the players they might be able to attract now. But our time with the club is done, and we've got to decide who is going to be the player that we're going to keep track of for the rest of their career. And I think the three are pretty clear that we're going to give you to choose from. First of all, Patrick Lejeune. It's not often I get a goalkeeper that's averaging above a 7. He's managed to keep 12 clean sheets in 34 games, an average rating of 7.10. He did wonders in a penalty shootout, saving 2 of the opposition spot kicks, and he has come up as a heroic performer time after time during the course of this season. But so has our number 10. He spent much of the season as a winger, but Yaroslav Mihailik has had a good campaign. 8 goals, 8 assists, 4 Player of the Match awards, an average rating of 7.28. He has had a really good campaign, and a player who may have started a bit slowly but came good in the end is Adler da Silva. 5 Man of the Match awards, an average rating of 7.2, all of which is great. But finally we managed to find a goal scorer at Piranha. 16 goals in 34 games. There are our 3 choices: Lejeune, Mihailik and da Silva. We're going to put a little poll down in the communities tab so you can decide which player we're going to keep track of for the remainder of their career. But we did the same when we were at Dugopolia. I think we should check in on the player that you chose as well, for seeing how Dugopolia did in the Croatian top division. So you can see we didn't get the accolades at Piranha that we got at Dugopolia. No league wins, no little trophies for qualifying the club for Europe. I still think it was a good campaign. We didn't get Manager of the Year. We didn't get 4 Manager of the Month awards. But we managed to finish 7th with a club that almost got relegated last season. So I think it's a good campaign. But how did Dugopolia do in their campaign in the top flight? And the answer is pretty disastrously. They've gone through a 36-game campaign and they've won once, bizarrely. That was against Dinamo Zagreb, the champions. That's the only team they managed to beat all year. Otherwise, they've picked up 29 defeats, a goal difference of -61, only 9 points. Granted, I thought I'd left them in slightly better shape than that. What about the player that we voted on to keep track of during the season? That player was Duja Dvorchik. Did he have a good campaign even though the team underperformed? Well, I guess you could say not terrible. A 6.81 average rating. He's got 3 assists and 4 goals in a team that really seemed to have struggled. It's not a bad return, but for the club overall it was pretty disappointing. I did note, however, that there's a little bit of interest in this player from maybe clubs like Venezia. That would be a decent move. Maybe Santa Clara in Portugal. but the major interest is coming from Greece, Belgium, Den Bosch in the Netherlands, and also a club playing out in Israel. You never know. He could be on the move. We might even meet up with him at some point in the future. Speaking of moves, should we just check out the job market and see what's out there that we could apply for our next move? So what's out there and what we could get, I think, are probably two very, very different questions. Hartberg in the top division of Austrian football, that seems attractive. But you know, last season we looked at attractive jobs and we didn't get within a country mile of any of them. They're a 3-star reputation team. I just don't see it. I've already applied for some jobs, by the way, towards the end of this campaign and didn't even get interviews at Hansa Rostock in the German 3rd Division, OFI in the Greek Super League, and also, more worryingly, a mid-table team in the Slovenian top flight didn't even want to give us an interview. So we could be struggling again to get a job this season. There are some that are available that were also up for grabs last summer by the look of it. Red Star is back on the market again. St. Pauli is back on the market again. There's some interesting jobs in Serie B in Italy, Empoli and Brescia. But again, I just think the credentials of those clubs are greater than our managerial profile. Could we grab a job in the Scottish Premiership? Motherwell are there. They are a 2.5-star reputation team. Is that out of the realms of possibility? Maybe it is. We're only a 1.5-star manager. We don't currently have a coaching badge on the go. We've got a reputation of 30%. Off the screen, well, we know that we've just taken a poor team into European competition. I'm not sure we're getting any credit for that. So it could be another summer of toil trying to find a club that will take us. Let us know whether any of the jobs you can see on screen there you think might be realistic moves for us. I'd like to avoid dropping into the 4th tier of Scottish football or the 3rd tier of Turkish football. Maybe that could be as good as we could get. We'll find out who we've moved to when we see you for our next episode of FM22 Mercenary.